Then this is another very important requirement for a valid nomination. Previously there was no requirement that a candidate should declare anything with regard to his criminal antecedents or assets or liabilities or his educational qualifications. There is a long drawn history. Ultimately Supreme Court has decided in 2003 that every candidate who wants to contest election, he must tell the electors that this is my past, these are my assets, these are my liabilities, this is my educational qualifications, so that a candidate, the elector can make an informed choice. So in pursuance of that Supreme Court's decision, which is we quoted here, the Election Commission has prescribed in the conduct of elections rules, that is Form 26. So each candidate has to give Form 26. One thing I would like to make very clear to you, Supreme Court has very clearly said that if somebody does not file this particular affidavits, then he is disobeying our law, our instruction, I mean Supreme Court's direction. So that will be a ground for rejection of the nomination. But somebody has filed these affidavits, and in those affidavits he has given some information which the others may say, no, this is not correct, this is wrong, he has suppressed this information, he has say 5 bungalows, he is showing only 1 bungalow, he has got so many assets but he is showing only 1 savings deposit in a bank. So those are not the grounds for rejection. Any wrong information or any suppression of information is not a ground for rejection of nomination by you. The only ground for rejection of a nomination paper is if he has not filed the affidavits at all. Because at that time you cannot go into the question of the correctness of, somebody may say I have this house and its value is 10 lakhs, the other may say no, value has gone, now it's 50 lakhs. So you cannot decide. So the Supreme Court has said no, this question will not be gone into by the returning officer. The returning officer only must see whether the affidavit is there or not. But it's not the end of the matter. If supposing somebody says that the affidavit is wrong, we say okay, we will take it up later. After the elections we may go into those questions, and if we find something is there, then we may take action against the person concerned for filing a false declaration or affidavit before the RO. That's a different issue. But it will not be a ground for rejection of the nomination. And our instructions are that in case somebody has not filed with the first nomination paper or the second, then as a precaution we have prescribed a letter also, that you give a letter to whosoever is there, the candidate or the proposer, that you have not given these affidavits. You have to give this affidavit to remind them. And these affidavits must be also received by 3 p.m. on the last date for nominations, not afterwards. Previously we had given on this instruction that it may be given later also till the time of scrutiny, but we have revised it in view of a particular decision given by the Madras High Court, and so we have made it 3 p.m. on the last date for nominations. And there are also instructions as to how you have to disseminate. You have to immediately give copies of these affidavits to everybody, whosoever wants. Don't charge anything, because there are several NGOs, there are several newspapers, there are several news channels who are now interested in this study. They may be giving information, and you have to display a copy on your this notice board. Then you have to give copies to your district election officer, and through him it will be put on the website. Whosoever wants to have an access, they will be doing it. And then we have said that if somebody wants to have it, say centrally from a district election officer, then it will not be free. Then they will have to make the payment. But if somebody goes to the returning officer, then it will be given free of any charges. Secondly, we have also said that supposing that example I gave you, that somebody says this affidavit is wrong, he has suppressed this information. You say, okay, whatever you have to say, you give me that affidavit. That affidavit also you disseminate, so that the people know that this man has said this. There are other people who are saying that this is wrong and this is the correct position, so that people come to know of both the views. So this is what we have to do with regard to these affidavits.